And welcome back to the Games Gamers. That's right. Today I have a very different episode, and I really like this idea, this concept. We're doing a little bit of theory crafting. We're going to talk about aliens in Star Citizen and why can't we be aliens? Now, the direct answer is very simple. The direct answer is because Chris Roberts doesn't want it that way. Now, we've been having discussion after discussion, video after video on the channel here about how our voice is important. The last poll, as you guys can see here, the majority of people said, yeah, you know, my voice does matter. Our polls continue on every video. Numbers are always increasing. It's very interesting to see these polls. Some people would say, oh, these polls are very simplistic, and you know what? They are to a reason. And I mean, to a degree, all of these polls are very simplistic. I make them that way really because I really want to make them for the people that watch the video and get their idea of what it is within our community. Now, if that can get expressed outwardly towards RSI and they can take whatever data they want from it, then so much the better. It's feedback that will help shape the game. I do believe that they are searching for feedback because it's something you don't see a lot on YouTube, Star Citizen YouTube content creators channels, and I think that's why we have a very unique audience here. Now, aliens in the game, when we talk about the Banu, you know, very trade-oriented race. You know, how cool would it be if you could actually be, you know, a Banu alien, if you kind of align more along the lines of that, you know. And the other thing is, I was just imagining, and this is pretty much the inception of this video, was I was thinking, you know, I really liked flying the Scythe. The Scythe was one of my favorite kind of experiences flying in a ship, and I did a video on it a long time ago. I called it the Scythe. Yes, that's when I first started Star Citizen, and I got corrected of the yin yang about that. But the funny thing is you know, when I got in that ship, I thought to myself, man, I kind of got this Battlestar Galactica feel, like I was the Cylons, you know, when I was flying in it. And I thought to myself, man, I would actually really like to be the Vandul and flying in these ships and just shooting this down. Now, you know, this is not scheduled in the game at all, but I think this is a really interesting video because I have a poll down below. I want you guys to vote on it. It's a little bit more varied in its options. Basically, I'm going under the concept of, would you like to play another alien race or not? And if so, which race would you like to be? And so I have basically the question there. You can go in the poll and you can basically vote no, I strictly do not want to be any alien, or yes, I do, and then you can vote on the alien that you want to be. You know, the kr'thak is one of those alien races that is very far out to the eastern quadrant of the map. That's a lot of systems are not discovered out there. And, you know, it's kind of like this mysterious race that nobody knows about. So that's really interesting as well. There's a lot of theories about what they look like, if they're bird or aviary kind of creatures, or if they mimic humans, and they're supposed to be a very theistic kind of like religious type of race as far as what they know. A lot of like wars between them and the xi'an are going on right now, and you know, we have a very conflicted kind of like Cold War feeling with the xi'an right now. So I really like what Chris Roberts has done to the game as far as like making sure that there are aliens in the game. I mean, one of the really important aspects to this game is that it is space, so there has to be this kind of idea or concept that there are other beings. And if you watch this video, go check out the card. This is a complete guide that I spent at least a month on. It's a great video. Check it out after this video is over. And basically, it's an hour-long video that explains all the different races, the lore that goes into it, and I put a lot of time into that. And if you're not familiar with it, go check it out because I really think it'll help you give a bigger love towards the game. You know, any type of game that I love to be immersed into, I always want to feel the storyline around me so that I actually feel part of it. And you know, as a lot of you watched the video from the Gamescom impressions that I had, where they showed a lot of the NPC development going on in the mission line, and while I was somewhat negative because I'm not like an old school mission grinder, I kind of like, I've evolved a little bit past that. At least they made it interesting and are kind of wanting to immerse you into a story or storyline, and that's really kind of another reason why I'm talking about this, is like imagine how interesting if at some point, they would add content to this game, because this is an ever-evolving game. When we come out with these videos, we're talking about things because we're in the development design stage, and I understand where we're at in the process. Right now, where we're at is we need a lot of the technical issues to be solved. And so, while I understand this, I also think it's very important as we're grinding towards that end date, which probably is going to be into the late 2018 for the Star Citizen MMO aspect to come out. I'd like to talk about the development stages and like to bring in and encapsulate like topics and we've gone over these many times before and I won't repeat these. I think some people that will watch this channel are like, okay, enough already about the economy, enough, but I will never get done. I will never stop talking about that. Every alien race fits into the economy in a very interesting way. Like each one has its own kind of separated economy from the UEE, whereas we have this kind of marketplace. We also are trading with the Banu. We're not doing anything with the Vanduul, but the Banu are working with the Vanduul. So there's a lot of interesting synergies going on between the alien races where we're really not even trading much with or not at all with the Vanduul, but yet the Banu are still able to do it with the Vanduul. Now, I thought that would be really cool, because imagine you could be another alien and then be Banu and trade with Vanduul, or imagine you're Vanduul and it's strictly kind of like a trade mentality period where they really don't have a currency as far as the things that I have read, and what they do is they just like kind of salvage off of like ships, that they battle, and even they fight amongst themselves, but there's still this kind of level of trade that goes on. It's a very hive kind of mentality. They reproduce like insects, and I mean, like if you look at a lot of their structures, they're very, very, very hive-like, almost like a wasp or a, and they're such an interesting looking species that I would just love to be Vanduul. I think that would be great. Call me a turncoat if you will, but like I thought, like when I was flying the scythe, the red LEDs just kind of like beaming into my eyes, I was like, oh my god, I would be loving to like barrel down onto like a carrier and just like ram into it kamikaze style, or just do some crazy stuff as a Vanduul. So what do you guys think? I would love to hear your comments down below. We will be having a lot of the Star Citizen giveaway being done mid-September. I will announce the date for that. I'm very excited to be giving away over $600 in Star Citizen ships. Please check this out if you're not involved in this giveaway. It is going to be one hell of a fun time, and we're going to do it live on stream. I will have an update video as to when. So I really want all of my fans here to really get involved in this. Thank you for the amazing support that everybody has been giving me thus far. I know a lot of the topics are very heated, but I do it for a very specific purpose, and that is just to bring about our voice as a community to grow and to be more noticed. And we're doing a hell of a job. I'm working with Chaos Wolf right now, where we're doing a very fun topic where we're just, I really don't want to give a lot away on that, but the first video will land on his channel. And the second video will land on my channel, and we're thinking of doing some really fun collaborative work together, so please stay tuned for that. But again, when you're talking about being another alien race, you're getting into a lot more work that SIG has to do, and right now, as small as a probability that I feel that it's going to be, I still think it's something that should be thought about, because they're putting so much work into this game when it comes to just the mechanics and the places and the looks and the feels with the human places. I thought to myself, like, there's a lot of people that would kind of like associate with other alien races a lot better than they would with the human race, and I think a lot of us down here on Earth feel like aliens anyway. And how cool would it be if you could walk into like a Vanduul kind of like center or hub area where now they're very combative, or even the xi'an, which live like almost immortally, like they live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years and kind of view us as like little larvae that make tons of mistakes, but they have a very what I want to say, more like a very communist approach when they're talking about their government, and that would be even interesting to be that race. So you have a total of the three major races, and then being the Banu, the Vanduul, and the xi'an, and then you have the kr'thak, which is kind of this mysterious race that not a lot of people know about right now. But I thought that would be just a really interesting topic. I hope you guys like it. Please go down in the poll and vote. And it is important. Polls here kind of gauge where we're at in the game. I think our voice does matter. And I'm glad a lot of you out there believe that your voice does, because not just in Star Citizen, but with any game, you should be able to be thought-provoking. You should be able to have your own opinion and not feel like you're going to be attacked for it. If you do, just brush that dirt off your shoulder, keep going on, and don't worry if the community sometimes drags you down. I think despite itself, Star Citizen is really moving forward. And for the most part, the people in the community that I have talked to are great people. And there's just a few people out there that kind of like to be know-it-alls. They kind of like to say, no, you can't do this, or no, you can't do that. No, your voice doesn't matter. It's kind of like a Debbie Downer, negative Nancy approach. And you know, while we understand that, you know, every update that comes out with SIG, they're telling us what's going to be in the game, what's not, we also have to understand that these people want a successful game. They want to listen to feedback, and this is the most important stage to have a voice. This is the most important stage, not just to be force-fed, especially since we are the backer. So again, I'm not saying that this is going to ever be a part of the game, but it might, being the fact that it's a game where there's always new features and new things going to be added. This is a very new era of gaming, and we have to kind of think differently. And I hate saying outside of the box because it sounds so cliche, and I just want to vomit because it reminds me of going to a 9-to-5 job and your boss is like, you gotta think outside the box. But you let's say it another way. We have to think like dreamers here. and a lot of people say, well, you're just dreaming, it's never going to happen. But I've seen amazing things happen within this game, and I think within any game, you always have to be critical. You always have to question, and you really have to approach these things with a very honest, sobering kind of approach, and make sure that what it is that you're investing your time into is something that has that playability, something that really grabs your interest and continues to do so, and you feel a kind of bond between you and the people that are offering this product, this experience to you. So thank you so much, gamers, for helping me out, for helping us grow here. Don't forget to get involved in the giveaway. And if you guys really want to know a little bit more about the games, go check out our Patreon page. I would be ecstatic if you go there. I'd even be more ecstatic if you donated anything. And the more that you help us out financially or with anything that you do here, the bigger our voice becomes, and the more important we become, and the more attention that we will get, and the more people will listen to us. So that it does matter. Thank you, gamers. I will see you on the next vid. It's always a pleasure. And stay tuned, so some very, very interesting things down the pipe here. Thanks, guys. See you on the next vid.